Okay, think about running a franchise business.
Yeah.
You've got, multiple locations all representing your brand, but how do you actually keep track of what customers are saying, what they're experiencing across all those different spots?
Yeah, it's a really tough nut to crack, that one.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Maintaining that consistent brand feel, but also getting a unified view of your actual customer. It's tricky.
It really is. That's kind of the unique challenge for franchises, isn't it? You've got this built-in decentralization.
Hmm.
Each outlet is, doing its own thing operationally.
Right.
And that often leads to just, well, a mess when you look at marketing or customer feedback or data, getting that clear sort of bird's eye view,
Mm.
spotting trends,
Yeah.
or even just local problems. It becomes incredibly difficult.
Exactly. Like you could have one store just knocking it out of the park, great reviews everywhere, and another one might be quietly struggling with something specific.
And HQ might have absolutely no idea.
Yeah. Which is why this idea of a central hub,
Mhm.
somewhere to gather all that scattered info, sounds so appealing. But then you think about actually setting that up, managing it across the whole network.
Mhm.
It just feels like a huge, huge undertaking.
It certainly can feel daunting if you don't have the right approach, the right tools. And that's precisely what we're going to dig into today.
Okay.
We've been looking through the documentation for something called Eva Global for Franchise. Our mission here is to really understand how the system tries to tackle those exact problems, bringing communication under one roof and, maybe more importantly, pulling out insights you can actually act on.
Okay, good. So let's really get into this franchise challenge because it's more than just like a few random online reviews, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The source material really emphasizes that.
What are the big ones?
Well, first off, fragmented feedback is a major one. You might get comments on a local store's Facebook page. Maybe someone mentions something to the staff.
Or a formal complaint through the website, maybe?
Exactly. Or sometimes nothing at all, even if there's an issue. So trying to get a consistent read on customer satisfaction, tracking trends network-wide, almost impossible when the data's everywhere and nowhere.
Right. How do you compare stores? How do you spot a problem that's maybe starting in one region if you can't see that whole picture?
You can't, really. And then there's the marketing puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Corporate might be running these big national campaigns. Great. But the local stores often have to figure out, okay, how does this apply here? Or they run their own little promotions.
It's like conducting an orchestra where everyone has slightly different sheet music.
That's a perfect analogy. The bubble tea example in the docs really illustrated this.
Tell me about that.
Well, imagine trying to figure out if, say, a new taro flavor is a hit in Austin versus Boston. Or, not being able to quickly push out a discount to one specific store that's having a really slow Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, you just can't react quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That lack of central coordination means missed chances, maybe wasted ad spend.
It also seems like it makes it incredibly hard to really know your customer on a deeper level.
That's another huge piece.
If all their info, what they like, what they bought last time, is stuck in like individual store POS systems or different loyalty apps.
You're missing out on so much valuable insight. You can't build loyalty programs that work across locations easily. You can't even, let a regular customer know about a deal at another branch they happen to be near.
It's like having a bunch of individual photos but no photo album to tell the whole customer story.
Perfect. And this lack of a unified view, it really holds back smart decision-making, both at HQ and, frankly, for the local stores, too.
Okay, we've definitely had a clear sense of the challenges now. So how does Eva propose to bring some order to this? What's the core idea?
The core idea is unification. Simple as that. Eva Global Engagement gives the whole franchise one single national number, or maybe a toll-free one, for both phone calls and SMS texts.
Okay. So one number to rule them all, basically.
Pretty much. It immediately creates that consistent, recognizable contact point. Doesn't matter which store the customer is thinking about.
So yeah, instead of hunting for the local store number, the customer just uses the main one. Easier for them, definitely.
Yeah, right.
But what happens at the business end when someone calls or texts that number?
Right. Good question. That's where their AI system kicks in. An AI-powered conversation platform.
AI, okay.
It's designed to handle those first interactions. Answering FAQs, what are your hours, that kind of thing. Or gathering feedback, how was your visit today? Or just getting contact info.
So the AI is like the first filter, the front line.
Exactly. It acts as that initial point of contact, handling the routine stuff efficiently, categorizing things.
A virtual front desk, maybe? That's always working?
Kind of, yeah. And the key thing is, all these interactions call transcripts, text messages, They all get captured in one central place.
Okay.
And this directly feeds into building a unified CRM, a customer relationship management system.
Ah, so no more scattered customer profiles.
Nope. Eva builds this comprehensive record. Customer preferences, their whole history across all your locations, any feedback they've given, it's all together.
Wow, that sounds really powerful. So HQ could finally see the whole journey of a customer, even if they bounce between different stores.
That's the goal. Imagine the insights you could pull from that kind of unified data.
Yeah,
And
seriously.
then because you have this central data, you can do some really smart dynamic SMS marketing.
Okay, how does that work?
You can set up the system to automatically trigger targeted text messages based on different things, like maybe a customer's past orders or preferences they mention, or even real-time stuff like a store manager flagging, hey, it's really slow right now.
Hmm.
And these personalized offers can go out to customers who've engaged with that specific store before, or maybe just people nearby.
So way beyond just blasting generic national offers that might not land locally. Much more precise.
Much more precise, much more effective, hopefully.
But hang on, what if a customer actually needs to talk to a specific store? Like to place a complex order or make a dinner reservation?
Good point. That's where their triage system comes in. The AI is smart enough to recognize those kinds of local specific requests,
Right.
and it routes them directly to the right store. So those high-intent interactions, the ones that need a human at that location, they get through quickly.
Right, so it doesn't block those important calls. It just handles the initial stuff and routes appropriately.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty seamless.
That's the idea.
Okay, so we've got the global number, the AI handling initial contact, the central CRM, the targeted SMS, and the local routing. Let's maybe break down some key features and look at the benefits for both HQ and the local guys.
Sure. Let's start with that national voice and SMS number again.
Okay,
For HQ, like we said, it's brand consistency, one number on all the national ads, website, everything. Simple. But also, it gives them a really clear way to track ROI on those big campaigns. Well, if you run a national TV ad campaign and suddenly see a big spike in calls or texts to that number, you know the ad's likely driving that traffic. Direct line of sight.
got it. Makes sense. And for the local franchisee, what's the win for them with the single number?
For them, it's mainly about getting more inbound leads. Simple as that. If it's easy for customers to find and use one number, they're more likely to reach out. No searching for the specific local number lowers the barrier.
Yeah, definitely easier. Okay, what about the AI conversation part? Key wins there.
For HQ, it's 24/7 engagement. The AI can answer common questions, gather feedback, even when stores are closed. And it automates a lot of those routine, repetitive interactions, frees up human agents, whether they're at corporate or in the stores, for more complex stuff.
And for the local store manager, that must be a relief, right? Not having staff constantly answering, what time do you close?
Absolutely. It takes those basic FAQs off their plate. Lets the local team focus on serving the customers right there in front of them or handling those specific local issues.
Okay, moving on to that central CRM dashboard. You said that was powerful. Why?
From the HQ perspective, it's kind of the holy grail, isn't it? That single unified customer database. It lets them really understand customer behavior across the whole network, do advanced segmentation.
Segmentation, like grouping customers.
Exactly. Based on preferences, purchase history across all locations, feedback sentiment. Maybe they spot a group of students who always order a certain combo near universities.
Okay.
That kind of insight can drive super targeted marketing or even influence what new products they develop.
Wow. Yeah, that level of detail could unlock some serious strategies. And for the local branch manager or staff, how does this central CRM help them?
Well, for the local team, getting instant access to a customer's history when they call or text in, that's gold. Past orders, any notes about preferences, previous feedback, it helps them give much more personalized, efficient service.
Right, they're not starting from scratch every time.
Exactly. Lets them anticipate needs, maybe upsell more effectively because they know what the customer likes, builds that relationship.
Okay, good. Now, sentiment and feedback analytics. Sounds important for checking the vibe.
It really is. For HQ, it's a powerful tool to measure overall customer satisfaction across the board. The AI analyzes the calls and texts, figures out the sentiment positive, negative, neutral, and categorizes the feedback by themes.
So they can see, like, are people complaining about wait times everywhere or just in this one region?
Precisely. They can benchmark stores against each other, spot emerging problems fast, track if changes they make actually improve things.
So they see the big picture trends and can zoom in on local issues. What about for the local store itself?
They get direct visibility into feedback about their specific location. That gives them actionable insights. Okay, people love our friendly staff, but they think the parking is tricky. They can actually use that feedback to make changes.
That immediate loop is valuable.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the automated SMS triggers. How do they work, practically speaking?
So HQ can set up these automated campaigns triggered by data, like the example on the docs. A low foot traffic alert. If the system sees customer visits dip below a certain point at store X, bang, it can automatically send a targeted promo, maybe a 10% off coupon,
To
to customers who've interacted with store X before, or maybe just phones geolocated nearby at that moment.
Whoa, that's super reactive. So the local manager doesn't even have to think about it, necessarily. It helps drive traffic during slow times automatically.
That's the idea. Leverage the data proactively.
Very cool. And lastly, that local routing and handoff piece. Seems critical for a smooth experience.
Yeah, it ensures things don't get lost. HQ knows that when a call needs local handling, an order, a reservation, a very specific local question, it gets routed correctly.
Right.
And crucially for the local branch, when they get that call transferred from the AI,
Yeah.
they get a warm handoff. The AI basically tells the system, hey, this is Jane Doe. She called before about X. Now she wants to make a reservation.
So the local staff have context. They're not asking, okay, who are you and what do you want? All over again.
Exactly. Much smoother, much more efficient for everyone, especially the customer.
Definitely. Okay, stepping back a bit. Thinking strategically now. What are the biggest advantages this kind of system offers, specifically to franchise headquarters?
The core benefits for HQ really circle around having that centralized data and being able to use it. We're talking truly data-driven decisions, benchmarking locations against each other properly.
Okay.
Running A/B tests on different promotions does offer A work better than offer B in the Midwest.
Right.
Even optimizing new product launches based on real-time feedback from across the network.
It also sounds like it gives them way tighter control over brand messaging.
The consistency.
Huge plus for brand reputation, absolutely. Standard contact point, AI handling initial chats consistently. It ensures a more uniform, hopefully positive brand experience no matter where the customer interacts. Builds trust.
And those dynamic SMS capabilities, it means national marketing can be much more agile, right? Adapting to local stores almost instantly. That scalability and adaptability are massive in today's market. You can react quickly. And finally, don't forget potential cost efficiencies.
How so?
If AI handles a good chunk of the routine stuff, HQ might need less massive call center staffing. That could mean real operational savings.
Interesting. So it's not just about better engagement. It's potentially about smarter operations and saving money, too.
Potentially, yes.
Now, let's flip it again. Think about the local franchise owner, the person running the store day to day. What are the concrete, tangible gains for them?
I think for local stores, one of the biggest immediate impacts is likely higher conversion rates.
Because
Because the AI filters the calls, it pre-qualifies leads. When the phone rings at the store or a message comes through, it's more likely someone ready to order, book, or buy.
so less time wasted on just answering basic questions, more time focused on actual revenue-generating interactions.
Exactly. That hits the bottom line.
Makes sense.
Plus, they get those actionable insights we talked about. Alerts on negative feedback specific to them.
Right, so they can jump on problems quickly.
Yeah. Address local issues directly, maybe turn a bad experience around, keep that customer loyal. That immediate feedback is incredibly valuable locally.
I can see that. Building that local loyalty.
Definitely. And then there's the targeted traffic from the SMS offers.
The ones triggered automatically.
Yeah. Reaching out to past local customers with relevant deals, especially during slow times. That helps boost repeat visits, stabilize revenue for that specific store.
And it sounded like implementing this wasn't a huge tech nightmare for them either. Integration was mentioned.
That's a critical point in the documentation. It's designed for seamless integration with existing point-of-sale systems, existing CRMs.
So less disruption, less need for the local owner to be an IT expert.
Exactly. Minimal IT impact means less downtime, faster rollout, easier buy-in from franchisees. They want solutions that work with what they already have.
Okay, this all sounds really thought through. But what about actually doing it, rolling it out? How does a franchise go from hearing this to actually using it across their network?
Yeah, the documentation lays out a pretty clear, phased approach. It doesn't happen overnight. It starts with a pilot setup, maybe 2 weeks or so.
Huh?
They provision the global number, Integrate the system with just a few pilot locations, say 3 to 5 representative stores. Test the waters.
Smart. Work out the kinks in a controlled way. What's next?
After a successful pilot, there's training and onboarding, about a week, they estimate. This is where they configure the AI load in the right FAQs, feedback categories for that specific franchise, set up the call routing rules, and crucially, train both HQ staff and the local store teams. Dashboard walkthroughs, how to use the system effectively.
Got to get everyone comfortable with it. Makes
Yeah.
sense. And then launch time.
Then it's go live, but it's described as an ongoing process initially.
Not just flipping a switch.
Right. They continuously monitor the data coming in, calls, texts, feedback from the pilot group, use that real-world info to refine the AI scripts, tweak the routing. They also launch some initial SMS campaigns to the pilot users to see what works.
So it's iterative. Learn and adjust before going wide.
Exactly. It allows for optimization.
And the final step is scaling it out to everyone else.
Yeah, rolling out the fully tuned system to all the other locations, and then having regular reviews, maybe quarterly, looking at the analytics, tracking performance, making sure it's delivering value.
Okay, that sounds like a well-managed process.
Yeah.
Designed to minimize headaches and maximize the benefits.
That seems to be the goal.
Well, this has been a really, really insightful deep dive into Eva Global for franchise. It definitely seems like it offers a compelling answer to those big franchise problems, the fragmented data, the disjointed marketing,
Yeah, connects the dots.
and provides real benefits for both corporate headquarters and the people on the ground in the local stores.
Absolutely. It's really about using a unified system, using AI to get a much deeper, richer understanding of your customers,
Right.
and turning every single interaction, whether it's a call or a text, into a chance for insight and engagement, which ultimately should drive growth across the whole network.
So if someone listening is thinking, this sounds like something we need, what's the next step for them?
The documentation suggests a couple of clear options. You can schedule a quick, maybe 30-minute demo, see it in action, ask questions specific to your business.
Okay.
Or if you're feeling more ready, you could even kick off a pilot program with, say, your top 3 locations. Experience it firsthand.
And how do they do that?
The contact provided is an email, joc@foreva.ai. That's joc@foreva.ai.
Okay, good to know. JAOs@foreva.ai. And, as you're listening and thinking about this, just consider for a moment, what has that truly unified AI-enhanced view of all your customer interactions actually do for your franchise?
Yeah.
How could it fundamentally change how you understand your customers, how you drive growth?
Yeah, and what other unexpected benefits might even pop up once you have that kind of central intelligence?
Exactly. It's definitely something powerful to think about.